Hello, everyone. Welcome to our service today. I know I've done sermons on this topic about changes, transitions. It just seems to come up in my mind so often. We are going through a lot of changes. I know each generation does, but it seems what we're going through now is just momentous. We're changing as a human race. We're changing as individuals, as people, as a nation, as a world, as a country. So much is changing. I think that last song by David Bowie, I think I read a snippet about it. If you know anything about David Bowie, he was chameleon-like. Like every album that came out of him, it was another persona, it was another person coming through. So who was the real David Bowie? I don't know if anyone will really know. I heard something interesting recently. They found some documents of his, and from the documents they found, apparently he was working on an opera. He was interested in opera. I think he was fascinated with French opera. So I wonder if somebody will take up that mantle and complete what he started. Anyway, we're all going through changes. Some of them are very difficult to get through. Maybe changes in terms of losing a partner, losing a loved one in any form. It could be a pet, a friend, anyone, a neighbor. We all experience this. Change is inevitable. We know that, but it doesn't mean that we necessarily like changes. Some changes are for the better. If we're working, we get a promotion, we get a raise. I would say that's a good change. If we travel somewhere and we see some place we've never seen before, for the most part, it's a good change. So there's always change going on. We know that with ourselves physically. Remember being in school, maybe in biology, and the teacher said, well, did you know your skin cells are changing every day, and tomorrow the cells of your skin are different than the ones you had yesterday, the day before, and the week before. Remember that? It's like, that's kind of amazing. Then I felt kind of bad for the skin cells. It's like, oh, their life is pretty short. Or it's probably biology class also. The teacher brought up flies. And I think he said the regular domestic fly only lives a day. It seems like there's always flies, so they must be making new flies all the time. So there's changes every day. We know that. I don't know about you, and maybe I'm noticing it more as I age. Every morning I get up, I feel different. I feel a little bit better. I feel a little bit worse. My right leg hurts. My left leg hurts. This is numb. I got a headache. Oy vey. I know I'm complaining. But it's good to notice how you feel, definitely. And you try to lift your own spirits up. Yeah, I'm going to do it today. I'm going to get up there and do the best I can. But besides changes, there are transitions. That's more or less what this sermon is about. When things change dramatically, whether that's who we are, what the world is about. As a side note, but I'm going to tie this in, I think it's kind of, to me, it's very interesting. I might have spoken about this in a previous sermon. There's been a number of interstellar objects that have come into our solar system. First there was one, then there was two. And then this third one, it's called 3I Atlas, 3 meaning the third interstellar object. I don't know why they called it Atlas, but it's not behaving like a typical comet. It's traveling on average 136 to 150,000 miles an hour. Scientists, astronomers have never seen something traveling this fast in our solar system. And it's approaching, I think, Mars, and it's going to approach our planet, I think, closest sometime in October. So humankind has always looked for signs in the sky, and they're still doing it. Even scientists sometimes relax their critiques and they think, oh, maybe this means something beyond what I think it means. And of course, you get my information from YouTube, and some people are saying, this portends something. Our world is going through so many changes. It really is a transitionary period. Humankind's consciousness is being raised. And there's so much solar activity, it's like unheard of. Solar flares, solar ejections, spewing up plasma, hitting the earth, like sparks are flying everywhere. And some people make the connection between solar activity and things on our planet, like earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricanes, all that stuff, with some science to back that. So whether you believe that all this is related or you don't, I think you have to admit a lot of stuff is happening, not just in our own personal lives, but with our own solar system. It seems we are going through a transition. What awaits us on the other side, we're not sure of. Some of these speakers on YouTube are saying this sign of the interstellar objects, it could be a sign from extraterrestrials saying, we're here, hello, more of us will be showing up. I don't know. Let's hope for the best. Sometimes we feel ourselves transitioning. And in that transition, we may feel very uncomfortable because we're not used to it. Who is the new me? Maybe you were always shy for most of your life and didn't speak up, didn't raise your voice, didn't make yourself known, but all of a sudden, you find yourself not being nasty to others, but this is who I am, this is what I believe. And then it dawns on you, I didn't used to be like this. I think we've had those moments where it's like, I've changed. I didn't used to be like this. I didn't normally talk to strangers, and now I do. I didn't normally defend myself. I didn't normally offer my opinion, but now I do. Sometimes our greatest teachers are young people. They really are. Because for whatever you believe, I don't want to bring in politics, but it's usually the younger people who have the energy to protest about something, whether it's the environment or whatever. They don't like what's going on, so that they're the ones that are walking, raising their voice. And yes, some of you will think they should just shut up, they're saying too much or whatever. But in a sense, what they're telling us is, I have a voice. And if you hear my voice, you can have a voice also as loud as myself. I don't know what the population of the US or the entire world is, but what is it? Hundreds of millions of people live on this planet. I don't even know anymore. And every one of us at some point want to be heard. And if we feel we're not being heard, sometimes we have to say it a little bit louder or make a ruckus or make ourselves known in some way. Some people do it through, writing articles for a newspaper or writing a book. This is my opinion. This is my life story. Others hold up signs. Others preach. Others just talk to their friends and family and say, let's talk about these things. These things are important. Transitions are necessary. Transitions are good. But what we should always have in mind is, what do I see as the outcome of this transition? Is it taking me to a better place? Is it taking our world to a better place? Unfortunately, there are people out there, there have always been, they're greater than naysayers. It's one thing to be a naysayer, but it's a one thing to actually welcome chaos and end of times kind of. And there are people like that. They're like, things are so horrible, they're never going to be fixed. We're doomed, let it happen. The quicker, the better. It can be easy to be a naysayer at times when you see things that make you feel uncomfortable, like when will things start getting better? But we have responsibility. Spiritualism teaches us that we as spiritualists have a responsibility, mostly for ourselves. We're responsible for our own lives, our thoughts and actions. But I think spiritualists will tell you we have a responsibility for the greater good of the world. If there's a choice of making things better or making things worse, I think we have to make the better choice. Again, it's okay to complain about things, to want things to be better, say these things that aren't working, but think of how can these things be improved. Sometimes all it takes is saying something to one other person or to a group, having a discussion. We need more discussions, like our church has discussion circles. I mean, we have discussion circles because we know people are going to have different opinions about a certain subject, and it's good to hear what others have to think. So let's continue to have discussions. Let's continue to navigate our transitions in this world. We have to be mindful of also, and this is really important, that we're doing these transitions mostly as individuals. So if we feel the transition happening in us and we don't see it in another person or group or whatever, just think they'll have their time. That person has to work it out for themselves. So that group has to work it out for themselves. If you generate love and are filled with love and want to help people and love people, and you see other people aren't doing it, we have free will. You can only do the best as what you can do for yourself. Hopefully someone will hear you and catch on to what you're doing, and they will do it themselves. It's always good to pray for yourself and to pray for others. Pray for others that you disagree with. Pray that they come to an understanding with their Creator, and they may also come from a place of love and healing. So that's my message for today. Be at peace with your transition. I really think we need to be optimistic and think this will work out. This will all work out. Whether it's my life or other people's lives, our neighbors or the world, this will work out. We will get through this. We will be okay. Thank you.